Welcome to Oklahoma High School's girls basketball between the lines with my man Coach V and myself, Tony Johnson. What's up, Coach?
How you doing, Tony? Doing good.
Man, coaches, it feels like we've been gone for a couple of weeks, but we back and running. We gotta get this show rolling, Coach, because we're running out of time. High school girls basketball is right around the corner. You got a big thing going on here in a couple of weeks. You got your big tournament.
Yeah, we hold. I think we had Panther Classic. As far as my knowledge, it's the oldest girls and boys tournament in the state of Oklahoma. We're in our 52nd year, so competition's good. Players are good. It's good. And we feed you good hospitality room, so my parents take care and the hospitality room, and that's all what coaches look for: competition and food.
Yeah, but Coach, you talking about food because next week is what?
Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. I like to eat, folks. We're going to talk about that. As you can see, we got the turkey up there. If I wish we could put it on the fire right now because I will cook it. But, Coach, like I said, we've had a lot going on, man. I know you've had some scrimmages. I've been in some games, man. The Lady Titans lose their first game in 2 years, Coach.
Yeah.
They got beat by Middle City Lady Bombers.
Okay.
Great game, great middle school game. I love the atmosphere, Coach. For a middle school game, I mean, it was standing room only. They had over at that the old Maroney.
Yeah, Maroney gym. Yeah.
I got to say, had a bunch of fans cheering for both teams. Great games. From 6, 7, and 8. You had some of the top 29 girls in the state playing against each other. Had a lot of other girls. I saw some girls from Grind Prep over watching the game.
Okay.
A lot of parents and coaches, and shout out to Coach Malloy and McPherson coming over and supporting Lady Bombers. I know Richie had a scrimmage that night, but I love it when you get these high school coaches out like yourself and get out and support these young ladies because they are your what? They're your future.
Yeah, Middale looks good. I mean, the situation Middale, you got Midwest City, you got Carl Albert. Dale City's going to have a good year. So Middale, to me, is getting back on the map as far as girls basketball. I mean, where all three teams are good. And I can remember the day where they were playing each other for state tournaments. I mean, and so that competition is good. It sounded like a good game. I wish I'd have been there. I had a scrimmage. But, I like watching young players play. And, they don't play for bragging rights anymore. That's the bragging rights of the city. I mean, that's an all-year deal right there.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you had a Heritage Park Mall still around, they can walk through the mall and kind of stare at each other in the game room. But you don't have that, so they probably meeting over at with the Canes and what's the other barbecue? I call it Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
God's Chicken. I tell people all the time that's God's Chicken.
Yeah.
But like I said, Coach, like I said, I know you getting everything jumping off. You've had a couple scrimmage yourself. You had who'd you have last week?
Last week we had I can't remember, it's been so long. They're all running together.
Yeah.
But we scrimmaged and did a good job, and we've been filming our last couple of practices, getting ready. So, it's about time to play somebody. We start off Saturday. We kick off Saturday against Little Axe, and good luck to our boys as they try to get their first win of the year. And we're doing the same thing and trying to get it started right. But it's the first time I played before Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
And I cannot remember how many years. But it's time. We get to that point. Sometimes you get to that point where you can scrimmage in the foul. I mean, it's time to get some situations. Foul troubles matter, things like that. And, so it's time to play for some L's and W's. Get it going.
Yeah. Coach, like I said, we're gonna try to double dip a little bit more. Got Thanksgiving coming next week, so we're gonna try to drop 2 shows. Tonight we're gonna talk about the 5A District 1. And that's talking about Carl Albert, Reno, Elgin, Guyman, MacArthur, Noble, Santa Fe, South, and then Southeast. El Reno's the team that comes in with Coach Douglas. Actually, we'll meet her team tomorrow night. Her daughter's team. 8th grade. We'll kick off with the lady Indians tomorrow night, which is a good team. Jennifer Douglas does a great job, with those girls, what she's had, we'll talk about them here in a few, talk about, what she got coming back. But just a simple fact, that's a tough district right there. You're looking at, like I said, you're looking at Carl Albert, you're looking at El Reno, Elgin. I know Elgin loses one of their top players and goes over to Newcastle. Newcastle keeps getting richer, and how they say steal from the poor and make the richest rich, but they keep doing their thing. Guyman. That's one place I wouldn't want to go play at, Coach, because it's just a long ride. I'll probably have to be that one. I'll have to probably catch on OSN or one of them channels that somebody can FaceTime me and then I can watch it from their phone.
Now. So he's playing. You gonna be there,
yeah, Coach. I'm gonna be there, man. I might have to catch a ride with somebody because I'm asleep. Because by the time I get in the car, I'm out, man. But like I said, MacArthur, Noble, Southeast, South, and then South, Southeast. But we'll talk about those in a minute. But Coach, like I said, we always start off with your 5 questions and kind of get the show going. But like I said, I know we got the miss last week. I was in Mexico, Coach. You was, we both was kind of tired. We both thought about shooting, but that's why we'll double dip this week. We're not gonna fall behind. I know people's like, when are you gonna get to class 5A? Well, now we're in 5A. We're gonna try to go through 5A, then 4A, 3A, 2A, try to get everything done because we ain't got to your class yet, Coach. And start talking about some of the teams in y'all's conference over there in the 4A. But right. Like I said, Coach, excited to be back doing the show, man. We like I said, we still want you guys to subscribe.
Trying to get 100 by Turkey Day.
Yeah, we're trying to. Help us out, man. I look at my son-in-law's podcast, man. He got 1 million viewers, and I think me and Coach is a little bit more funny, and we're giving you sports.
Yeah,
high school sports in the state of Oklahoma. Shout out to the young lady over at Norman.
Kitty Parks. Yeah, it's Kansas. Great Kansas. Program, and Coach Kansas does a good job. Runs up Tibble. He's got some Oklahoma kids.
Coach, I got to ask you this question though.
What's that?
How do you let a girl in your backyard get out of Norman?
Well, her Final 3 were Kansas, OU, and Oklahoma State. So I say our state schools did a good job getting in that Final 3. And I would just probably say sometimes a kid wants to get away a little bit.
Yes, sir.
But not too far away. I mean, Dad gets to, when they come back to OU, OSU, Stillwater, Kansas, ain't nobody, 5-hour drive, 4-hour drive. And so
But they won't be playing because they're the SC. I guess Kansas. OU's SEC.
Well,
so I guess when they play, Oklahoma State and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean.
But her sister plays what at K-State.
K-State, so they're going to get a chance to play against each other. McKellar's at K-State, but I think sometimes it's just a different environment. Get away. My gosh, I mean, Kansas women, they're packing the fog house just like they do the men now, and so. When you get out of Kansas environment, you walk the basketball hall of, little Hall of Fame right in front. You walk. I mean, there's a lot of history there, and they probably took it to a men's KU game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you're sitting on front row. Nothing against any of the other programs that are going, but you never know. Might not have been a fit. It might have been already 3 deep in that spot, and sometimes it does matter about playing time. So, sometimes that has to deal with it.
Yeah.
Where a kid may stick, but. I think our state schools did a good job because that was in the Final 3.
Yeah, I tell you right now, though, you start looking at, I was looking at something earlier on Twitter that all these girls that is signing big D1 programs, I mean, that's big for the state of Oklahoma. We talk about it week in and week out on here in the show, folks, and that's why you should always subscribe to Between the Lines Oklahoma High School Girls Sports. Best place you're going to find out about the high school girls. Like I said, granted, we might not have said it first but we're letting you know. When you turn on the episode tomorrow, you'll be like, man, I didn't know that young lady's committed to Kansas, but now you do from listening to but Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines,
Yeah.
About to practice, talking about keeping 100. I ain't done that show in a while, Coach. That's probably why. But like I said, we're gonna get started with your few questions. Then we're gonna dive into this 5A real quick. So, Coach, I gotta ask engagement. How do you get students to come out and support the team and get people in the stands?
Oh, you do several things. I mean, we have a very good student body. They call it the Rowdy Crowd. And,
I like that.
And some schools, it's just kind of been a school where the student body sits in the stands. Our stands pull out, and they're almost on the floor. Last year, they were a little too rowdy. But you know what? That's okay.
That's what we want, Coach. You want a rowdy. Get hype.
And so they do a good job. They make it a good environment. They're right there on the floor. They got their own student section. They can stand. They're not in front of anybody's way, and they get a chance to be students. And
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about. I don't know if I want to go as a student and I'm sitting up in the rafters. You got to be on the floor.
On the floor.
And so we have that environment. We'll do some things. We got theme nights that we do.
Yes, sir.
And so every game has a home theme or a theme that we do, and the student body gets involved in that. I don't know, we've thrown T-shirts out. I mean,
that's it. Now you're talking, Coach.
I've thrown pizza at them before. You know, you just gotta get them involved, and
you gotta have them come out. You gotta have. If you're in high school, you should enjoy every minute of your high school time, especially in basketball, because the weather's not gonna change. You don't have to worry about what I need to wear. all you got to do is wear, something comfortable. And I love it when like you talk about the student body, when the other team comes out and they put the paper, they turn their backs. Or one of the top places I went, and I haven't got a chance to go to your place, and it sounds like it's fun, but I went over to Crossing last year.
Oh yeah,
and Crossing had a good student body, man. They had chants, and you could tell. They might have had a class they had for one of their hours that they did chants in, because they was all together.
Student
They
body
would roll.
practice.
Yeah, they would roll. You can do that, and I love it because that gets the crowd, it gets the family, the kids into it, gets the players into it. Hit a three, boom, three. That's what it's all about, man. So I remember, going to the high school games when I was in Mississippi. It wasn't very good, but it was still fun to go watch the games and see the parents get into it, the kids get into it. So I think every young man and woman that's out there in high school right now, you should support. And I know me and Chris Crawford, next year we're trying to do things with the Tip-Off Club as far as with Carl Albert, and hope Coach Ritchie and Coach Price is on board with us. But we want to give away a pair of free Jordans. We want to give a $50 gift card away. Who hits a free throw? We want to give T-shirts away, because I think and not knocking any program, but I think Carl Albert's basketball is not where his football is at, far as bringing people out. But I think you can get the kids out, because if you're coming out cheering for that football team on Friday night, there's 18, 19 go balls. We can do the same thing with the basketball, and I know when I was part of that Choctaw Touchdown Club, I put a lot of money into it and time into it, and knocking on doors, and same thing that you do with yours over there. Right. So I think it's really important to get the kids to come out and support.
Yeah, and I think your administration has to be a little lenient. Like I said, our student body, they're very involved in the game, and we don't say shh. When we let them go. Again, we get to a certain point where we don't want to be disrespectful.
Yes,
but
yes, sir.
But again, no, it is home court for us. You come into our place, and we want it to be a tough place to play, and that used to be for girls basketball, that used to be a hard place to play. We're trying to bring that back, and that student body does that. So we do many things: themes, pizza, church, whatever, half-court shots. You got to have games during halftime for them to play, whether it's basketball, musical chairs, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Get them out, get them involved.
Yeah. Well, Coach, another one is like, what's your pregame ritual? You got a certain song you listen to. You got a little Def Leppard in there. You got a little Bon Jovi. What do you got in the headsets? Got to get you going.
It varies. At one time I'd have said anything but country, but even that changes now. The one thing I probably won't have be any jazz. I'm just gonna say I'm not having jazz.
Coach, I hope you ain't got no jazz. Probably gonna relax you. You might fall asleep on the bench though. Don't get me wrong, jazz relax you. But right now you got to get something, get you going. Because I'm looking at your tournament. I'm excited about this tournament that you're having, man. Because you got some tough teams in it.
We got Reno in it.
Yeah.
We got Newcastle.
Reno's a team that won the tournament and went undefeated last year, and she held up a gold ball with 35-0.
Something like that. All I know is that's all I know.
And that's big time, Coach. Big time.
My rituals probably just hang back, chill, in my office, feet up, talk to Trish comes over, my wife comes over, and we sit around and talk, my assistants, and then I'll write on the board, let my kids get ready. And I'm just hanging in my office. If it's a away game, I'm not probably listening to headsets. I'm probably watching something on my iPad basketball wise.
Yeah.
And that's probably not even my team. It's probably something else. I'm probably trying to learn something from some other coach. I'm out watching a college game or something.
Yes, sir.
Something like that. But I'm not very, got to have this, got to have a certain meal. Music that's on the bus ride over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It can that can range, like I said, anything. It could be, you want to move them, and it could be Justin Timberlake, it could be something else. I don't know what it may be.
Timberlake, I like a little
coming
Timberlake.
to town, I'm not.
Hey, Coach. Hey, don't.
If they got free tickets,
Coach, don't say that. I'm telling you right now, Miss Johnson, when we was in Philly or Kentucky, one of them, he was in town and she wanted to go. I said, "Baby, we're here to play basketball. We ain't here to," because I like some JT, man. I was an NSYNC guy too. I love some NSYNC.
You're gonna be doing the show, and Miss Johnson gonna be Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, that's all right. They deserve it. They give us our time to come do this show. But Coach, the other one though. I've seen you, in kind of pregame action. Are you a suit and tie, or are you more of a t-shirt and sweats guy? Coaching on the sideline.
I was Bobby Huggins' gear before Bobby Huggins' gear became popular. I'm just letting you know, I'm shooting straight up. I was my first job at college at OBU, and Coach Mack was he always wore a suit and tie because he was at Division I level forever. And we got there, and he wore a collar shirt, but then wore a tie, and we're like, man, thank you, you know.
Yeah.
And then when I got my head job, I was just like, man, I'm not like this, but it's got
a little comfortable though.
It's a pullover, a nice pair of clean shoes, and probably some type of sweatpants, dress sweatpants, and that's what I'm rolling in. I mean, I'm here to coach, you know what I mean? Now, if somebody wants to endorse me and make me look good.
Hey, y'all hear it? You hear it first. Hey, between the lines. Hey, throw him a suit and tie. He'll wear it.
It'd be a rare thing. I think I wore a tie. Last time I wore a tie was for my state academic championship.
I love it. But I love a coach. I mean, nowadays I think they changed it a lot, especially I think after COVID hit, a lot of the NBA teams went from the suits and jackets and all that to more nice khakis, polo shirt. But I gotta give a couple coaches some shout outs. You gotta give Katie Bash, she's always dressed nice. You gotta give Miss Douglas, Jennifer Douglas, you got to give her flowers. And then, Lenny Hatchett was one of those guys that's always really dressed really nice. And Lenny Burt, Lenny Burt was probably one of my favorites because Lenny's armpits would be so sweaty, man. The game ain't even started. I'm thinking, Coach Lenny, what you doing? But, he was always dressed nice, man. And, I love to see, coach in a suit and tie, nowadays I know it's changed a lot. And I always tell Lenny Hatchett, I have to give it up to Mrs. Hatchett because I think she does his dressing for him, but he's always pretty clean though. I love to see coaches. Now you see coaches in the Jordans. Carlson coach, they had a coach over there. He was assistant coach and his son played for him, but he would always be in a sports jacket, nice slacks, and nice pair of Jordans on. So I'm cool with that. But I'm cool with the coaching. Like you said, you're here to coach. You ain't here for a fashion statement.
I'm gonna blame it on my neck and shoulders because I can't see anything up this high.
Well, Coach, believe me.
And if it's gonna get around my shoulders, it's gonna be like that long. So that's my excuse. That's my excuse, and I'm going with that.
I love it though, man. I know my mom. Every time I go to church, she used to get mad at me because she want me in the suit and tie. I think that's why I kind of quit going. God forgive me, but I want to be in some slacks and don't get me wrong, I like to look good, and so but like I said, Coach, whatever's comfortable for you and whatever helps you win ball games. I don't think no one's giving you a check if you're in a pair of sweats and a nice shirt though.
I like coaches that come out in suit and tie. And after the jump ball, the jacket's off.
Shirt's off, ties off, everything's off. So, you might as well just came out a pair of sweats and a t-shirt. It'll save you the time.
Yeah.
But Coach, I got to ask you, like you put on this big time tournament here that's coming here in a few weeks. I've always wanted this, is it, I'm not saying home cooking or nothing like that, but how does it work when you set up a bracket, though? Do you set the bracket up? Do y'all put it in the computer and they generate it? Because, because sometimes you look at it that you might have two great teams on the same side. I haven't got a chance to look at yours. I know you got some pretty good teams, looking at Newcastle yourself, El Reno, Shawnee, so how's that bracket set up? Do you do it or do you have somebody do it for you?
We send out a seating to all the coaches.
Okay.
And they give us their rankings, and then sometimes you would have. I give you an example, like, we don't want unless it just absolutely happens. We do not want Shawnee, Reno playing the second round game if possible. If it works out that way, it does.
Mm-hmm.
But they already play each other 3 times a year already, so. So we want to kind of make it where if they see each other in the finals or semis or wherever, and then that's kind of how we do that. And we kind of make it where, we've got we got 3 Cudjos playing in this tournament, John Marshall, Star Spencer, and Klassen. And obviously they don't want to play each other first round.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So sometimes you move it around because teams may ask a question or two. And so you move it around that way. I think we do a good job as far as seeding. I sent the brackets out, and I didn't have a coach complain a bit, and I think we have it set right. I mean, in the girls' side, El Reno's 1, Newcastle ended up 2,
mm-hmm.
Shawnee 3, and then we were 4, and McGinnis was 5. So, that's how I kind of laid out for the girls' side. The boys' side, same way. I mean, El Reno's going to be 1. I think Shawnee's 2 on that one. I believe it's John Marshall 3. And maybe Bishop's 4, something like that. I have to look at it. But, so that's where we do it. We don't get any home favors. There is no home favors in this tournament. If you look at the bracket, but, and then you try to make it where we play. Obviously, we start the late games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to draw us, you're going to get a late game. And then from there, you kind of, depend on where you lose, where you go. But I think we do a good job. I mean, as far as setting it up to try to get the best teams in the final.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you may look at it like you saw a bracket, but it made it. Maybe they didn't want to play. Maybe they couldn't play at night.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense because some schools might be traveling far away, and they might not have the time to get there and all that. So and you want to have the fans there too, though.
Well, in Oklahoma City schools, I think they have to hire a driver.
A driver?
Yeah, okay. So they don't want that late game the first day. I know there's some of that things that they ask, and we try to abide by them because we like them in our tournament. They bring good competition, and they've been coming for years, so we want to honor that, and we had that request. So you're going to see those schools try to get an earlier game, and I believe it's because of the driving situation of doing that. So we try to accommodate everybody that we can and make it a really solid tournament. And you definitely want the best two teams at the end of the tournament.
Yes, sir. Well, the last one, Coach. Last question I got for you is like timeouts. You one of those guys that save your timeouts, or you one of those guys that you try to use every time at every 2 minutes. I know you had talked about this earlier nowadays that with these college kids, man. I mean, they're getting a TV timeout every 5 minutes, so you really don't get a chance to get into the game. The next thing you know, you're taking a timeout. But how do you with your timeouts? You use them all in the first half, or do you save them because you can't carry them over though, can you?
Well, no, you can't carry them over. I mean, the thing there is you're gonna get 5, and if I'm getting beat by a really good team, you know what? Use all 5 of them in the first quarter if I got to. I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do whatever I got to do. I mean, down by 20 with 3 timeouts, you can't cash them in. I mean, so but you try to use a 30 and a full, and you try to do that when you need to stop a run. If somebody goes on a 6-0, 8-0 run, you got to call timeout 30 seconds or something to try to get one bucket to get the thing going. And then you try to save one at the end if it's a close game for a situation. Loose ball, 50-50 ball, you're on the ground, you're rolling around, you finally get possession. You call timeout in a close game. You may use it to stop the clock. College is a little different. After you score a bucket, the clock stops.
Yes, sir.
And so in high school, you score a bucket, you have to use a timeout just to burn the clock up. Like 10 seconds left in the game and you score and you're down by 2 possessions, you're going to need to call a timeout because they got 5 seconds to get that ball in.
It's a good one because, I mean, you're going to educate me on this a little bit, Coach. Like, like with high school, and if they get the ball on the side and they throw it in, it doesn't get moved to the front of the court. It stays right there, right?
No, you don't have that rule.
But like but the college and the NBA, it moves up, though, right?
Advance. Well, there's certain rules like in WNBA, you had some timeout that you can advance. One timeout you can't. They give you one timeout that you can't advance the ball.
Okay.
And I saw that happen when I was watching the finals. That they said there was a timeout where you can't advance. Okay. High school don't have any of that rules. I mean, where you call your timeout is where the ball is at. So, but you're going to use that. And like I said, if you're getting beat in the first quarter, first half, I mean, you got to stop the bleeding. You got to do something.
Yes,
knock somebody off rhythm. You got to call timeout. If you get down by 16-2 or 18-2, you got a long ways. Long ways to come back. So you got to call timeouts, keep that run short. Some coaches have a coach that sit on the side and they have a method. If it gets 6-0, let me know, and they call timeout.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I try to use mine for.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to jump into this 5A1 district breakdown. We'll be right back after one of our sponsors, Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Line. Be right back.
Above the Line Hoops, helping players achieve their goals through recruitment, exposure, and promotion.
Welcome back to Oklahoma High School Girls Basketball Between the Lines with my man, Coach V. Hey, as we get ready to talk about Class 5A District 1, we're in 5A, folks. We've already talked about 6A. They're getting ready to get the season started, but 5A, we got some good teams we're going to talk about. Like I said earlier, we got Carl Albert, Reno, state champion, Elgin, Guyman, MacArthur, Noble, Santa Fe South, and Southeast. So, Coach, let's get this started. You're coming off with El Reno, a team that went 20. I'm sorry, I think I said 35-0. We got it right here. If I'd have paid attention and did my homework, I would know. Coach had it set up, but that's my fault. But Coach Douglas comes in last year at 28-0, a 5A state championship team. I couldn't tell you. I guess I guess I can go there and look. Probably not that many teams that's went undefeated, Coach.
I think Edmond North might have done it. Maybe a couple years ago when they won.
But I thought they got beat by Classen.
No, they did get beat by Classen in their own little showcase they did, so that may be in their one loss.
Okay.
Yeah, Classen came in their place and beat them on on a I think it was game winner
That
buzzer.
was a great game. It's standing room only in there.
Yeah,
I remember that. I got to watch it on
game.
TV. But Coach, like you said, Del Reno comes in with 3 returning starters from last year's team. Coach Douglas, she's a young lady, kind of like Katie. They both wear them heels and they stomp them and they kind of cross those arms. They give you that look. But Coach Douglas, like I said, known Jennifer for a while. She was assistant at Midwest City. Has done a great job over at over at at El Reno. But it's done a great job with these young ladies, and in, year out, she finds players, man. You might think she's down. The next thing you know, she's putting a state championship team in a state run, and she's been close, but she finally got it done. But, Coach, I'll let you talk about them a little bit, who they got coming back. I know they're led by their big-time post player, Lily.
Yeah, Lily Thomas, post player, great size, about 6 foot, 6'1" maybe, and does a really good job as far as very versatile. She's got good footwork, good hands, inside moves, up and unders, very strong, can take the hit, get the and one. But what's really neat about her game is she can also face and shoot threes.
Yes, sir.
And so, she's to me, she's a tough matchup. You put a big on her and the battle inside. So she's almost a kid that's in the post. You got to commit with a double or something. And that leaves somebody else open. So she draws that type of attention. Reagan, almost said it, Reagan, Bo guy. I hope I'm right. It's been a while since I said the last name.
And that's in the little point guard number 5, I think.
Yeah, little point guard. In our tournament, she was all tournament. Maybe MVP. I can't remember because I wasn't there yet. But in her tournament, her freshman year, she made all tournament.
Coach, I got to say this about this young lady. I wouldn't watch them. They played Carl Albert last year. Might have been the year before, but might have been last year. I know me and Zoe sitting there watching, and we're like, man, can this girl play? Because you look at her, that's why I say you don't never judge the book by its cover. And then by the time the game got going, she was just a pest, man, getting steals, getting, rebounds and scoring. So I really like her game. I guarantee she's probably 5'11", 6'1". She's going. I know she's going to play college ball because I think all of her young ladies got offers. But this young lady is, if you want to go watch a great high school basketball player, she's going to get down and dirty, and she's not going to back down. So, parents, are you listening and you want to go watch a good player, come check her out because she ain't backing down from nobody, and she goes 100% full speed.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to work with Reagan a couple of years ago in the summer, and the funny thing about her is she has a smile. You watch her play. This is a kid who just loves playing, has a smile. But she take you to the hole, does a very good job of avoiding getting the shot block, uses her body well.
Yes, sir.
But I've seen her pull up, like Trey Young in range, and knock them down. And so she's a fun kid to watch. She's committed to, I don't know if she signed, but at one time she was committed to Friends University in Wichita, Kansas. And so congrats to her for getting a scholarship. I know Lily's got some offers out there. I didn't see her commit. I know one time she had an offer from Oklahoma Christian after she went to their elite camp. So, so she's that type of player. They got another young lady, Emery Olzado, would be how I said it, and she's another starter coming back. And so they do lose 2 starters. But, Coach Douglas spends time in her junior high invested. So, she's getting one of those teams that you're like, oh, they lost so-and-so. But trust me, they got some coming.
So she's going to have somebody coming. You look at her middle school team, Coach. Mm-hmm. They're not really great. The next thing you know is like Jennifer's put a masterpiece together with her high school. And I think that's where it starts at, and Coach just said it again, it starts at that middle school. You have to be investing in these middle school kids. If you're not, you're going to miss out on them. I'm just keeping it real because, these girls want to see you at the games. I tell you, one of the best ones around is Coach, Malloy over at Midwest City. She's at the AU games. She's at the high school, the middle school games, and she knows these girls. She knows what they like, their favorite candy, their favorite food, their favorite drink. I know that's what it's like now because, and it's funny. I'm going to keep it real on this show because these coaches have to do that now. And as a coach, if you're not doing that, guess what? That girl's going to be playing. She's going to be wearing green and white, a different color, blue, and so you have to invest in your players, man. Just like college, if you're not investing in these kids to stay, guess what, man? Because somebody else is going to invest in them, and then you're going to miss out. Because at the end of the day, it's all about that relationship and building that relationship, and I had a picture pop up on one of my deals today, 14 years ago. I had one of the best little league programs around, and parents still talk about that to this day. But I was investing in each one of those kids, and I think that's how you have to be now because at the end of the day, it's all about who's invested in my kids. It's like your 401k. You're putting your money in this stock. You hope it grows.
Yeah, so Coach Douglas does it, and you're right because like I said, she has her kids ready. They know her system. She's been there a while, and she's always seemed like she's going to. This is probably one of the most inexperienced teams that she's had.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a 3-star. She's got some kids that have plugged in. A young lady with last name Romanos played a little bit for her that I know of. I think she's about 5'9", 5'10", been there for a couple while, and so now it's their time, and they understand. I think the hardest thing about when you're coming from middle school or getting playing time is the expectations that are placed upon you. And I think Coach Douglas does a good job. When you come in, you know the expectations that she has. You know that she's going to be tough, tough love, and you know that she's going to demand you to give your best. And if you can handle that, then usually in experience, you get experience and you just keep on moving on. So I think they'll be their preseason number 1. And I think they'll be good again this year and opportunity to probably go back to back. I know some other 5A teams, but they're going to be well coached, got good players, they got a point, and they got a post. And that's part of it right there.
Starts right there, Coach. Starts right there.
So I think they're going to be good this year.
Then you come in with Guyman, returns 3 stars from last year, includes 10 of the 15 off the roster from last season. Adrian Valdez, a point guard, and Aaliyah Valdez. So they sisters, cousins. I guess they're not. 5'9" junior that has been in a starter over the past season. Via Castilla is a junior. Is an excellent shooter. Incoming freshman Reese Chapman looks to make an impact. Reese has put up over 50,000 shots up in the offseason. So
yeah, I looked at her stuff and this is an 8th grader now, becoming a freshman.
Yeah.
And she knows that they did lose a young lady, I think that averaged 18. She was an all-stater last year. I don't remember the name, but they did lose one person like that. So she knows that spot is needed.
Yes, sir.
And she understood that, and she got in the gym and got up 50,000 shots.
You got to put that work in, Coach.
Put that work in. And so, and I think if I remember I was talking to Coach at Kingfisher last year, and they get crazy. It's like 5,000 miles or some crazy mileage that they put on traveling because they're in Guyman. But again, to me, that's that thing where you get on a bus, you take a nap, you wake up, you're in Guyman, and you got to play.
Yeah.
And they're at home. Yeah. They're comfortable.
They're waiting for you.
They're waiting for you.
It's a trap game.
I think it would be for me. No matter who, you're on the road. It could be it could be one of those days you don't know if you're going to play because it might have been snowing or not. You're like, are we playing, not playing? So, but they do a good job. They've had some good players up there. I know 2 years, I think 2 years in a row, they've had an all-stater. They had a little guard 2 years ago that averaged 20 a game. So, tough environment, I think, just because of the travel, and you got 10 of 16 kids back.
Yeah.
So.
Then you got MacArthur, Coach.
A lot in Mac. I know a couple kids I've seen in the AU circuit. Alyssa Mack is if I remember right, about 5'9", maybe 5'10", but she does a little bit of everything. She's strong, inside out game. She's got offers. I can't remember where from, but Alyssa does a good job. And the other lady I saw was Emma Hart. I saw her at one of the prep hoops showcases, and I didn't know who she was. And I can tell you right now, this young lady, she mean.
Yeah.
She's tough. There's a 50-50 ball. Emma was on it, and she was coming up high. It was like a bottom of a fumble.
Yeah.
She come to get it.
She
was coming to get it, and she's just a tough kid, and I really liked her game. Just a very, just a tough kid. And so they got a couple kids. They're preseason, I think number 8 or 9. Yeah. We'll have our work cut out for them. We play them during Christmas break at Del City Festival.
Yes, sir.
And so we'll have our work with just those 2, and they've got a couple other kids. I know that they lost one kid, one of their players we talked about. They lost to Eisenhower, the Fisher kid. So, but they're still going to be good.
Yeah, they're going to always be there. Then you come in with Colorado Titans, the Lady Titans, them pretty well. Coming in from last year, 22-6, lost in the first round. Coach Ritchie has been there for a few years. More than a few years. He's been there for a while now, It's had some players come and go, but like I said, he still has a couple young girls that's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Audrey Plunkett, big time. It's funny because she has great size, but she's kind of more of a
she's more of a small forward, power forward. She's in between. She's a 3-4.
Yes, sir.
3-4.
And she's coming off, being a star last year. Played, AU ball for Team Griffin.
Mhm.
Looking for her to do big things. Be a big part of the leader, be part of the leading scorer. And then even on defense, if you bring the stuff in there, she can swat it. Put it in the stands. She plays volleyball too. Then you come in with Jakari Brown. Played for Crush Queen.
Yeah, I
Played for
saw
Coach
her.
Dre.
Yeah.
Young lady, she's been kind of banged up a little bit with her knees, but I think just her junior year, she's coming back as as a starter. Her and
Mhm.
Audrey. And then you look at her, she's a guard that can shoot. She can get to the bucket. I think sometimes she holds her game back. I got a chance to watch her a lot over the summertime, and I watch her take over games, in AU ball. And I feel like sometimes she don't play the same way she plays when she's playing high school ball, in which I think AU ball has a little bit more competition because you're playing against the best of the best every weekend. And I think if she learns to turn that notch up a notch in school ball, that she's going to be untouchable. But then I got to give a shout out to her sister Jackie.
Okay.
Jackie's a young lady, man. I got to give her some love. She's a 3-year. When did that? Should be Christmas. Folks, I apologize, man. I got this all set up here.
Yeah.
Go right here. Jackie,
Yeah, I've seen
is
it, yeah.
it's her older sister. She's a senior. She's probably gonna be fifth, sixth young lady that comes off the bench, but it's gonna help when she's a senior. But Jackie can play all 5 positions. But the most important thing with Jackie, she's a 3-year academic 4.0 student. It's done big things.
Right.
She like I said, carries a 4.0 for 3 years. As a true inspirer for women for the Titans basketball, president of the top teams club chapter OKC, and she's preparing for her senior year, but she only can help you not in the classroom. She can even help some of the girls tutor them. So
Right.
you got to give her some love. But I know her dad, the Browns, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, is really proud of her. Of, what she's doing, and not, like I said, not just in the classroom, but just on the basketball court too. So looking forward to see her do big things. You can see this young lady is going to go off and go play some college ball. But let me get back to my one picture coach. There we are. Gobble. But so they lost a couple young ladies from the team last year. Skylar goes off to to Dale. Then you have Jakari. Curry goes over to Chata. Then she's still kind of banged up. I think they're hoping to get her, but they're gonna inherit a couple young ladies. They got Mitchell, a young lady that got hurt her sophomore year. She's a senior this year. It's a good little shooter outside, but last year she came off the bench and gave some points. And then they're gonna have Hatchet. Lenny Hatchet, Dale City's head basketball coach, has won a couple championships himself. But his daughter, she's a sophomore this year, Malia. She's gonna play one of the guards. One or two of the guards, point guard or shooting guard. But she's got a chance to watch them just on Tuesday, and seemed like she's a big part of their team. She's getting a lot of big minutes. A young lady that knows basketball probably left and right because her dad, is a head coach at Dell City. So if he's in the gym working with his boys, I'm pretty sure she's in there getting shots. I saw some stuff he had put up the other day. Hard work pays off, and that's true, folks. If you're in the gym, it's going to pay off. Yeah. Then you come back with Hayden Harrell, a name that's probably really known around the Middale area. Dad played at Choctaw. Two brothers played at Carl Albert. They both won a couple state championships.
Brother Nate played for Athletes First, Team Griffin.
Yeah.
We were doing that program. We had Nate. Nate, if I remember, it's been a while.
Yeah, but Harold, one played for Texas State. They were just playing overseas right now. Then the other brothers playing over at Chickasha. So the Harold Eddie's coach at the boys level. He's coaching Zoe's 8th grade team. The man knows more about basketball than I can even think about. But Richie got some players. You lose a couple. Girls, but then he picks up some. Then the one I'm kind of really interested in. He gets a young lady from BTR, Jordan Richardson, just a freshman. I know you know her really well, and she's been in a lot of teen camps and done a lot of good things. But you wonder if she's going to be in that starting 5, or she's going to be 6th man, 7th man. Jordan comes with a lot of basketball, background. Playing for Jesse. Jesse's one of the top coaches here in girls basketball. Middle, they've always played up, so Jordan is used to playing up. Like I said, just adjusting from AU basketball to school basketball. AU basketball, I tell everybody, keep it real. I think AU's basketball is a lot of get up and run. School ball is more sets and you got to run plays. So she's got to make that adjustment. But I think Jordan's going to do big things for him. And then you got Sutton. Sutton's an outstanding softball player. It's helped her team. She's a pitcher for the Carl Arbor Lady Titans. I wonder how much her sister was a great shooter there that went on and played college ball. I think she's playing over at Redlands. But I wonder how long she's going to play basketball because she's really good in softball, but she's a deadly shooter herself. She has a good outside game, good size, but, she's probably got to play some inside because one thing I think Coach Ritchie is lacking is he's lacking size. Don't have a lot of size, with the high school girls, but I'd like to see what he can do with her. Then I think he had one more young lady that, we kind of talked about Brown, being what she is,
Right.
but Richardson. But I'm really, really excited to see what this team can do. I know Richie's got, I know he's got his kind of chopping at the bits. That eighth grade team that's coming up has only lost one game in 2 years, and you can put all these puzzles together. You can have something special. But people can talk about that. You see this all the time. But like I said, kids come and go. You always think about somebody's ringing or knocking on the door trying to get your kid to come. I know my baby girl loves Carl Arbor and the twins, and I tell you right now, you can talk about Zoe and the twins, Annabelle and Brindley, but a young lady that I got to tell people that you got to watch out for, the young lady named Siani that don't get a lot of credit, and she's a player that I think that by the time she leaves high school, coach, you're gonna know about her. She can jump out of a gym. I call her Rodman because she can jump. So I've seen a lot of girls put the work in. London, Vanessa, all these young girls. So Rich, you got some talent coming up, and I'm not trying to put no pressure on you, Rich, but I'll tell you right now, man, you got some good things coming, and I'm pretty sure, who wouldn't want to come play with these girls that you got? Yeah, granted, you lose too, but you got, you like say you lose Skylar. I know you know a lot
Right.
about Skylar. Good ball player that's over at Dell, and hopefully she can help them do big things. And then Curry, but you always got to look at coach. One of the favorite things that any coach says, the next lady up, the next man up.
Right. Yep. I mean, they should have, I would say they're young, got some experience, but losing obviously your leading scorer,
Yeah.
and then probably your second leading scorer. But again, though, they got the cover's not there. I mean, so they'll have some experience. So next group I want to talk about is Santa Fe South. Coach Washington takes over. He gets the job like maybe mid July, August, and it is one of those charter schools, and so you got to apply. It's just not just everybody in the neighborhood, and so he's in the hallways trying to find kids to play
Come
right
out, yeah.
now. But he's got an AU background, and people know him, and I think he's going to put the work in. He's going to teach that fundamental skill, and they're just going to be inexperienced, a young team that's going to play hard and see what happens. Their best players have left. One of them went to Del City,
Yes.
and Kelsey went to Del City, and another one left, went somewhere else. He told me so. Inexperienced team, but they're gonna pressure. It may be a zone press. I mean, they're gonna work hard. His teams I've always seen works hard. He works on fundamentals, works on ball handling, and so Santa Fe South again gonna be young, and gonna take their hits early, and he's trying to build a culture there,
Yes, sir.
and a program, and depending on what they do, they'll get better and maybe knock somebody off and finish somewhere in that 4 or 5 range around here. So, I don't know anything about Elgin. I know their best player went to Newcastle, so
Yeah.
that's why Newcastle is everybody's talking 4A, and probably the one team you're talking about is Newcastle, and I think they're forgetting about Douglas probably a little bit more, but it'll all shake out. I mean, we know Lincoln Christian, Douglas, Newcastle, Fort Gibson. Those all when we get to 4A, we talk about that, and they're all loaded with players. We talk about some of them here. Excuse me, but they're going to go up to 5A.
Yeah, next year.
This year. They're near. They're 14-12 last year and 4A.
Oh yeah, Elgin. Yeah, Elgin. My fault, coach. But one thing that you just said it. Talking about Santa Fe. Now you talk about Elgin, and it all adds up. What happened to their team? Girls are moving away.
Well, Santa Fe's a little different. Santa Fe's that charter school.
Well, I'm just saying though, one of their best players left and go to Del City.
Well, they didn't hire him until after she'd already made that decision. And then after those kids left, he gets the job.
Oh,
so
okay.
it may have been one of those things where
they didn't know who the coach was going to be.
Because I know that they've worked together in AAU. Sir Kelsey and Coach have worked together somehow.
Yeah.
And so she was familiar with him, so she might have stayed.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like late, And so, Elgin, I don't know. I mean, do you stay at 14-12 and 4A? Or do you go to Newcastle with a new coach, new players.
Some promising players that can do some
You
big
know,
things.
you know, and so, I mean, I don't really know anything about Elgin, but if you're a player and you want to play for a state championship, and I don't, your parents can work somewhere and just drive back and forth. I mean,
Yeah.
I've known coaches. I worked with the coach at Cameron, Coach Mahoney, who was at Harry for a while. He would be at Tuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they drove back from Elgin to Tuttle every day. I mean, no big deal. Just get on Turnpike.
Turnpike can go.
Like driving from here to Tulsa for work every day. I mean,
I don't think I want to do it, Coach, but hey, that's a
but so you never know. I mean, so we don't know anything about what Elgin's got going on, but players want to win now, and they're willing to, with the new rules, willing to drive a little bit.
Drive a little bit.
Yep.
Then you got Guthrie.
Yeah.
When they come in, what was their record?
They were 9-18, and I'm sorry, they're 15-11. 15-11.
And they lose their coach.
They lose their coach.
And she wants to go coach boys.
Yeah, and Coach Brett went and coached, I think, Mountain View Gotebo.
Okay.
The boys' job. She's been wanting that for a year.
And she was on the staff with Jennifer Douglas.
Oh, well, she
was with El Reno. Then
she was a tough player at Dale. Yeah. She used to be a stud. I mean, she was a tough player at Dale. Yeah, that's where I know her from. But she went to the boys. So they returned one starter off last year's team. They did lose a couple of good guards. They had a really good guard last year, point guard.
Yes. I think they beat Carl Albert one time.
Yeah, they had some good guard play last year. And so those kids are gone. Bringing a new coach, basically a whole new team. But I'm looking at this district, and besides El Reno, Carl Albert, I think almost and Lawton Mac, I think those are the top three. But other than that, I think everybody is pretty even.
Yeah.
New coaches, almost no starters coming back. We talk about, Guthrie. Noble's the same way. We scrimmaged Noble the other day.
Yes.
And Coach Vandenberg does a really good job. They're going to play hard. She's getting kids from other sports to come out and play. And so they're going to play hard. And she's going to coach them. And I think after the top three, I think it's wide open.
Wide open. I mean, anybody can win the district. I think El Reno is a front runner. And then after that, it can fall to anybody else in the spot. I mean,
Lawton Max. I'll tell you, Lawton Max, tough place.
They're gonna be tough, and they're gonna have athletic young ladies.
Yes, they do.
I mean, and then like I said, you talk about Carl Albert. You talk about a lot of youth. You talk about two young ladies that with Audrey and then Jakari. You're talking about two young ladies that one play a lot of AU ball, but also has played in the game. But now you talk about Eva Mitchell. A young lady got hurt a sophomore year, and then she's coming back. Then you're talking about those two young sophomores, Hatchet and then Harold, that didn't play a lot last year, so they're getting thrown into the fire. They got to play a lot this summer, but they're growing up every time they step on the court. And I will give them a little bit of shout out though, because they went and played Anadarko, and Anadarko went and played in your deal over at OBU, and Anadarko looked untouchable. But I think Richie might have won. I think if they played 5 quarters, I think Richie might have won 3 of them.
Well, the thing with Coach. The thing we talk about El Reno, we talk about Lawton Mac, we talk about Carl Albert being those top 3. They all have a point.
Yeah.
And so anybody that pressures them, they have an experienced point. Now, I think we talk about Jakari Brown. I think she's a 1-2. I've seen her where she scores, but she can handle the ball.
Yeah, she can.
And so if somebody pressures, she's got the pressure. Reagan's got the pressure at El Reno. Yeah. Lawton Mac's got some guards that can dribble, and they're used to pressure defense. So I don't think they get rattled. I think all 3 of those are going to be that tight. They all got a post player to work with. I don't know. Carl Albert's got a true post.
No, and I think that's one thing they lack, Coach. It's funny you said it, because I think, to me, I look at Plunkett. I think she's as good as an athlete as Shelby over at Dell City. But I just don't think she plays a true post. I think if she did, because she's really athletic and she can shoot, she got a really nice shot. I think if she did, people looked at her more at the post, she would probably have a little bit more offers in her bank.
Yeah, we scrimmaged Coach Richie and him a couple of years ago, and we were a run and jump team, and he was a run and jump team. And so
we had 5 out.
5 out. So, I don't know. If you got a post player and you got to wait for him to get down the floor sometimes, I'm like, we're not waiting.
But you like to run, Coach. I see you want to run. You're about 30. You talking about run. And it's funny that you talk about that, Coach, because that's something that that it's going to happen next year when he brings in two young ladies that are post players. The twins.
You adjust with them,
and that's what I'm asking. If you had them coming into your program, even though you're a running gun, do you adjust to that, or do you say, hey,
I might go from a 5 out to a 4 out 1 in or dribble. Both of them probably wouldn't play at the same time. It'd be tough. if you're a run team, and obviously he's got the guards. I mean, I don't. He's got them all coming back next year,
Yes, sir.
and so, so my deal is I may change a little bit. Where it matters is your defense. In other
Yes,
words,
sir.
offense, you can make an adjustment. A post player can shoot outside, but can they change? Can they rotate in a press?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that to me, that's where the change comes. If you are a pressing team because you have no post, but just maybe one, and you stick her in the back and she rotates, that's great. Now you got two back there. That rotation is not as quick. So I think
get into a shooters.
defensively,
It can
that's the
hurt you.
change. That's the change that you'd have to make. Offensively, is there a post anymore? You got a 6'5" kid. They want to do what? Shoot threes. I mean, you know what I mean? So, but defensively, they think they're a guard, and maybe they can't guard on the perimeter.
Yes, sir.
And so you have to change defensively. I think that's where a change is when you add a post player of size. Is offensively, we can find you. We can fix it out. We can remember this set. You can do what they call a blocker mover, where all I do is just set screens, and you're just a blocker screener and roll, screen roll. But defensively, if you're a pressing team, where do you put them? So I think that's the change you can have on that when you come in. But I'll take the size. Always look good in blue. Come on. I got some LTs over there uniform. I mean, come on.
You got the Bengals, huh? That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I got
like
large
I think when you like I said, when you go play a lot of small ball, I mean, like when you start looking at the 2As in the smaller classes, you see a lot of big, like Idabel last year. They had the big post girl, with 6'5", whatever she was, and it took her 2 days to get down the court, but she helped them win the state championship, though.
Well, I'm watching OU play the other night against Wichita State, and I think their best kid is the best kid that transferred over. I remember right from UCLA, but I can't remember. I don't keep up with that much. But OU hung 140 the other day.
They put it on. They put it on.
And they're running up and down. They're shooting threes, and she was bringing 4 in at a time. I mean, she's got it going on over OU, and
they're ranked number 9.
Yeah, are they? And they're running up and down and shooting shots and threes, and they don't have. They don't have the big. They don't have a 6'5", 6'7". That I know of. Now they may need it for defense, but that problem is that 6'7's got to run up down that floor, and that's kind of what you do if you're a small team. Is we run that rim, what they call rim runner, and we're going to run that rim. And if you're big, you better get back on goal because by the time you get down the floor, we've already scored, or at least shot a shot, one of the two.
But Coach, like I said, we got the chance to talk about the 5A1 district, man. Like I said, some good teams, anytime you can talk about El Reno, a team that went 28-0, and she got some of the top 3 girls coming back.
Yeah.
All she has to do is plug a couple in. I know I did talk to Jennifer. I love Coach Douglas because, and I call her and text her and say, hey, tell me a little about she's like, I don't play no freshman, and so I think if she did have a freshman that could play, I think, maybe no freshman's going to help her right off the back, but I think if she had a couple of freshmen that could go, she's going to put them in.
Like I said, Reagan was a freshman when she made all tournament ours. And that's an exceptional freshman. I mean,
and Coach, I know you're all about like, hey, if a young lady can play, let them play. But I truly believe sometimes a freshman, I think if you throw them in a fire, you can cook them because I think if they get, granted, people don't realize AAU basketball and high school basketball is totally different. Yeah. It really is, man.
Well, the deal with AAU, I think the difference between AAU and high school, and I've done both, is in high school, you have film, and defenses are more practice, I mean,
they can scout you.
They scout you. The defenses are different. I mean, in AAU, you might see your kid maybe before you get to the tournament. It might be like, I ain't seen you in a week because, you were on vacation and we see you, I'll meet you down in Frisco, I mean?
Yeah.
And so you show up, you play a little man, but they're not really trapping and rotating. You'll see the layups. You're like, where's the help? Yeah. Well, that helps there in high school because you know what? You practice every day on that stuff. You practice it. And so I think there's a change there in that sense of the defensive part.
Coach Banks kind of told me one time, we were talking about Skylar when she came over to Carl Albert her freshman year. She was big time. She made a lot of plays, and she had the other girls around her, the other 3 young ladies that could shoot the 3. And then so when, you put Skylar in there, man, she's making buckets because you had those 3 girls outside that could shoot. So they had to worry about them. So she, she's getting to the bucket, getting layup. Well, then the next year, everybody got the film, and you lose those 3 girls that don't have that, not the shooters no more, and you start a different kind of lineup, and now everybody's watched Skylar, so they know what she can do. So it adjusts to her game. So that's why, you're looking at AU ball, like you said, Coach said, there's a lot of running and gunning. Ain't no trapping. It's more man to man. Not that many people play zone in the AU. So, I mean, you're preaching because I mean, like I said, these kids, you got to realize you're gonna have to watch film. You can't if you go right all the time, they know you're gonna go right. So I tell mines all the time, you got to learn to hit that left a little bit more though, man.
Right.
And hit and learn a jump shot. All you ladies is out there that's playing this game. I don't care how good you can jump and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's gonna be some college gonna take a chance on you, but if you look at 90% of the girls that's out there, they all can shoot the ball.
Well, when you watch film, I get make your highlights.
Yeah.
Make your, but when you watch film, I tell my girls, watch the film as if you're playing against yourself. What do you not do well? And whatever that is that you write down, go work on it because it's written down on a piece of paper somewhere. I've seen some scouting reports that, these kids might cry with the scouting reports. No left at all, zero left. Can't shoot a lick. Don't go out there. Feelings would be hurt. But somebody has written that down, and it's not like you can walk the halls and, man, do you know Coach Vick can't shoot 3? I'll be like, oh yeah, we know that, and here I am thinking I'm a shooter,
That's it.
And so when you watch that film, young ladies, as you get ready, your scrimmages are happening. You have film, you have games. Break yourself down. I mean, give yourself, you don't have to give yourself a grade, but break it down.
What am I doing good? What am I doing bad?
Yes, and focus more on the bad.
It's funny, we got Coach Pig. We brought him out of retirement. He used to be old Middleton coach, and so he's been working with him, and he's really good about, working with our jump shot. And, I just want to get that jump shot too, and it's little things in his sight, thumbs, yeah. And so the other day he was sitting there training her, and after the Middleton game, he had a bunch of notes for her, what she did good, what she did bad. And I loved it because, you get these trainers, they want to collect your $40, $50 and move on down the road, and Coach Pig is kind of like Mr. Miyagi, kind of like you, when you talk about this on the phone, it's wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And so it's like, man, we ain't shooting. And so, one of the things Coach Pig said to her, and, she's played for a lot of great coaches, and he told her, it's like, know where the clocks are at.
Yeah.
Know what's on the time. Know where this player's at. You ain't got to be looking at that player. And so now she's starting to figure it out. It's like, wax on, wax off. It's Mr. Miyagi. If anybody I know, kids like, what is he talking about, Mr. Miyagi? Go watch Karate Kid. It'll tell you when he's painting the fence. It's up, it's down. It's all about learning.
Simple things.
Yeah, that's it.
Simple things.
Simple things.
Simple things.
Simple
We get
things.
too complicated sometimes, and just it's a simple thing. It's your elbows, your follow through, your hand down. Are you flipping your thumb out? Right.
I might be able to shoot down, Coach. I might be able to knock a J down.
And some people, it's old school. You're at a goose's neck.
Yeah.
I call this my queen. I call this my broken elbow.
Yeah.
There you are. And do you take this hand and do you flip it out like that? You got all these devices. Some old man told me one time, he showed me, he said, you got a quarter, son. You put a quarter right there, and he said, and that quarter drops, your thumb opened. And I'm like, that cost me 25 cents. That knowledge was 25 cents, but that's what they had.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but just focus on the small things.
Little things.
Little things.
Well, Coach, we're going to do it again on Saturday morning, right?
Saturday morning, we're going to
hopefully we can have a special guest.
We're working on a special guest. Hopefully, we're going to have Coach Wells from Shawnee High School come up. We talk about another 5A program, which we'll get to her district, and she's picked up a big time recruit, Josie McGee, that just signed with Tulsa University.
Was over at Bethel. Now she takes her talents over down to Shawnee. Woo!
Takes her 1,500 points on down the road.
And I tell you, there's a reason when you're going over to Shawnee. She feels there's a way. Hey, Shawnee can make a run in the 5A, So, hey, Jennifer Douglas, they coming off that 28-0 record. And they got a chance to see each other in the tournament.
Yeah, I think, and I think some of that was Coach Satterfield does a good job at Bethel, and Josie wanted to play, from my story was, want to play volleyball with her sister.
No, that's
sister,
cool.
Very good volleyball player. And, so they wanted to do that. And
it happens, Coach.
It happens,
Hey, it's all about the recruiting, man. You never know who's knocking on your door and who's trying to get them to come over.
It's true.
And selling tickets, Tickets win ball games, you know what I'm saying?
Like I said,
but Coach, hey, let's wrap this up, man. I know it's a Wednesday night, man. Next week we're gonna be thinking about turkey. Turkey, gobble gobble. So
I'll be on my diet for my 1-day feast.
That's it. But folks, we're gonna wrap this up, but we're gonna do it all again Saturday morning, and like I said, have a special guest on. We're trying to get to the 5A district real quick because we still got to get the 4A, 3A, and 2A. And it's like I said, hopefully I get some of the. I know Coach Mr. Mayfield over at Calumet. I'd like to get him on, and his ladies coach on. I know they're going to do big things out there. His daughter's out there at Calumet, so I'd like to get some of the smaller schools on too. But Coach, like I said, we'll do it again on this Saturday, right?
Saturday morning.
Well, you got to tell the folks they need to do what?
Oh, you need to click, like, subscribe. Man, what does brother got to do? They got to beg. I mean, come on now.
Man, come on, man. Come on. We're asking you. Come on.
But go ahead. If you like what you hear, subscribe. I mean, we appreciate the views. We're 200 to 300 views, and we like to get to 100 subscribers by Thanksgiving. That just lets
Thanksgiving. We're right there, folks. Help us out, man.
So,
like I said, we trying to go big time, and I think we're doing a great job. But Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. It's not another high school basketball girls show better than what me and Coach Vick is bringing you. So we'll see you next week. See ya.